Hi everyone, welcome to Shard's World, and I appreciate all the viewers who have been viewing my videos, my vlog, and today's vlog is a very important one, but I must give the, excuse me, disclaimer that this video is about my story. I am a trauma survivor, so if you can, if it's just not for you, please do not watch this video. It may be triggering. So I'm looking a little rough. I had hernia surgery, so I'm feeling a little rough, feeling a little beat up today, for lack of better words. I'm having a hard time breathing, so please excuse my demeanor. I'm okay. I'm healing up well, so I'm just glad to be here today. It's a sunny day, even though it's snowing. It's a good day. So I figure the easiest way that I can share my story is in 3 parts, and it would be the story, the impact, and I don't want to say recovery, but the healing. I would say the healing. So the story, the impact, and the healing. And those are the 3 parts that I'm going to try to just stick to, because there's no easy way to share my story. There's no quick way to share it, but I don't like watching videos over a certain amount of time, so I'm not going to subject anybody to watch a long drawn out video of, that just might be a little bit too much for people. So let's take a sip of tea. March 4th. Today's March 4th. In 2017, I graduated with my master's in social work, a 2.5-year battle, an experience. I had a kid at that time, and my daughter suffered a traumatic school bus accident at that time, and we finally made it through. I graduated with my master's degree, and wonderful. Like, my life turned around after I graduated school. So I'm working, I'm doing my thing. And on a beautiful day like today, it was a Sunday of March 4th, 2018, working, I was attacked on the job in a client's home. Now, I am a social worker. I have a duty to HIPAA. I will not be sharing any personal information of other parties that were involved. The news article clips that I'm going to share are also any type of address or any information will also be scribbled out, because that is one part of me not being able to tell my story is HIPAA. How can one person tell their story when they're not allowed to, right? So even as I'm meeting with psychiatrists and psychologists, psychiatrists, lawyers, all these other people, a part of my story has to be bleeped out, because I cannot violate. And nobody prepares us for this in school. Like in that ethics class that we took, they didn't prepare. Like, they talked about ethical dilemmas. Now, this was a huge ethical dilemma. Like, even filing police reports and things like that. It's like, oh, this is such a HIPAA violation. Please, I do not want to lose my degree. Because that's what they drill into you up at that in the ethics class, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I was attacked. And this is a family that I was familiar with for over a year. And it was a family member that attacked me. And, okay, so I guess I gotta say it, that I was stabbed over 10 times on my neck. As you can see, they're actually going down, which is really amazing. My chest, my neck, one on my face, a couple maybe 3 or 4 on my shoulder, 3 on my left leg, so all on the left side. And the person that stabbed me was trying to kill me that day. And that's all that I can really say. That person was trying to kill me that day. And luckily, I was able to get out and go to a fire station across the street and get help. And they say that that's the part where I saved the family, was me getting out and being able to call the police. Don't really feel like a hero, not really feeling brave, because I was just trying to get the hell out of there, right? I was not trying to die that day. I have 2 kids. I am a single mom. I do have a co-parent and with my youngest daughter's father. And I would not even be able to fathom not being there for my girls. So, was able to escape and make a 911 call, which pretty much is pretty traumatic 911 call. I've never heard it, but I can remember making the call, and it was pretty, like, it's like out of the movies. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like watching a movie. Making it to the ambulance coming to pick me up and hearing the police bust down the door saying, you know, township police, and hearing over the radio that shots were fired, and all I'm thinking is, oh my God, like, what is going on? Is this person coming to get me? Like, just really in shock at that moment. No glasses on my face, excuse me. I didn't have my glasses. I didn't have any of my personal belongings, but my work bag, because, you know, HIPAA is so important. So, which is ironic. Like, it's really crazy how I left out there with my work bag. Because I wanted to make sure I maintained confidentiality for my clients. Like, that's the real reason why I left with my bag. My bag was in my hand the whole entire time that I was fighting for my life, because I literally was fighting for my life. I've never fought in my life until I've had to fight for my life. And when I tell y'all, and this ain't no Jussie Smollett, I was fighting, no. Sade would not be here if Sade was not fighting. And I thank my body for just going into that automatic mode of fight. But, you know, being in a trauma unit, you watch ER, you watch, you know, Grey's Anatomy, you watch all these doctor shows, and you see how when somebody comes in after being shot or after being stabbed, it's like, you know, that full team. I lived that. And that is something I will never forget, not being able to see what is going on around me. People ripping my clothes off. They essentially just cut my clothes off. I have no clothes from that day. They were cut off of me with maybe what looked to be like 8 to 15 people in a room naked. IVs going in. I don't know what's going on. There's no consent. There's nothing signed. I'm in shock. And so I don't know what's going on. I just know I'm naked in front of a bunch of people, like with blood. I don't know what's going on. But the only thing that I think that helped me grounded was I kept telling people, for some reason, I have a master's in social work with a concentration in interpersonal violence and trauma. I repeated that from the moment I got into the ambulance to the moment my mom came. And the whole time that this is happening is my daughter's at the hair salon getting her hair braided, and nobody knows where she is. And somebody needs to get my daughter. Like, Z was at the hair shop getting her hair braided. I didn't even know what street the hair shop was on, and that was on my mind. Like, somebody needs to go get my kid. Um, so just being in the trauma unit, getting cleaned up and having to ask for pain medicine, having to ask for my wounds to be clean. I was never given a psych eval. I was never evaluated for anything. I wasn't discharged with pain medicine. I wasn't discharged with any clear plan. Just follow up with your primary care doctor in 3 days. And I always believe that that is because I'm a Black woman and I didn't have health insurance at that time. So, if those of you that don't know, statistics show that there is a deficit when it comes to women, Black women, and healthcare. I was stabbed 10 plus times. I was not given a psych eval. I had to ask for pain medication. I was not sent home with pain medication. I did not receive the treatment that I believe my counterparts received. And they received a lot of care. So, I was alone. The hospital was on lockdown because the other family was there and they didn't know if it was the, how should I say it, the assailant's family or the victim's family. So the emergency room was on lockdown, which means I was alone. I had no glasses, and I say that because for a person to be able to see, I could not see. Things were blurry, faces were blurry, things were blurry, which means that I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. I can't see faces. My vision is horrible. I need my glasses. My friends know. Jamie knows. I sometimes sleep in my glasses. I think because when I wake up, I want to see. So not having my glasses was very scary because I can't see who's coming in to talk to me. I'm alone. I don't have my parents. I can't even tell my mom what's going on because the hospital's on lockdown. Like if I say, Mom, I got stabbed, she's going to bust down some doors to come back. Any mom would bust down doors to get to their kid. My mom would have got arrested. I didn't want that to happen. So I was able to make 3 phone calls from the hospital because I didn't have my phone. The person took my phone after they stabbed me. I'm guessing to prevent me from calling 911. I don't really know. But I told my mom, I'm okay. I'm in the hospital, but you need to get, Z. You need to come, she's like, what's going on? I really don't want to tell you over the phone, but you just need to get to this hospital. So I'm discharged the same day. I think I was there for like 6 hours. I'm discharged. My mom has to wheel me out of the hospital because apparently, I don't know. They don't wheel you out the hospital. My mom wheels me to the, to where she parked. I haven't eaten. And I get home and Z just breaks down. I'm walking with a cane, my dad's cane. I'm in tremendous pain. I felt like I got hit by a bus. Which later I found out that, when adrenaline, there's an overflow of adrenaline in your body, your body essentially it's just traumatic to your body in general. And the fact that I was knocked to the floor with a man over top of me, stabbing me in my shoulder, my neck, and my face, I guess that didn't help either. But my daughter, she just broke down. And she couldn't handle it. I don't think I could handle seeing my mom and that. But she already had her own anxieties and PTSD and all that stuff from her bus accident. So for her, from when I walked in that door, she immediately ran away from me. And that is a typical symptom of PTSD, is avoidance. My child has avoided me since I was attacked. The sight of my wounds, the sounds of me being in pain, me having to tell numerous doctors and all that stuff, my story, blah, blah, blah. Will prefer to just be away from all of that. And it's my job to make sure that she knows that I'm okay and that there's nothing that she can do to help me. It's not her job to help me. It's not her job to heal me. It's just something that we are working through. And that has been constantly me having to be that parent that has PTSD and learning not to also traumatize my kids and create a generational issue of PTSD, of anxiety, of depression, all of those things that come with PTSD. So that is one of my main goals, was one of my main goals this whole entire year, was to make sure that I don't traumatize my kids from my trauma. Okay. So that's the story. I've told it many times. I have not cried telling my story. I'm a strong black woman. We're not supposed to cry. That whole thing right there, that's hard, ladies. Like, that strong black woman thing is like so hard. It has been such a battle to be vulnerable and be in need, asking of help. Like, it's that strong black woman thing is for the birds, y'all. Like, it's just not healthy. It's just not a healthy thing, that burden that has been placed on us, where we're expected to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders and be okay with it. It's just not fair to us. So that's my story. I mean, I can't really, that's just what it is. I've been awarded for bravery from the police district that responded. I don't feel like the award ceremony was for myself. I'll post the video. I have actually not watched the award ceremony. That was very traumatic. It was very horrible. And I'm going to write a letter to the lady to let her know, like, when you include survivors in your ceremony of surviving or victims or whatever, y'all need to include a trauma-informed clinician on there to get their opinion on how to do a ceremony for trauma survivors, because that was not the way. But anyway, it has been a constant battle. Workers' comp. I've been battling workers' comp from the moment I was attacked, March 4th, 2018 to December 2018. I've had to get a lawyer to fight for proper medical care. I have not had my wounds treated. Workers' comp just wanted to make sure the wounds healed and did not get infected. I have tendinitis, I have nerve damage, I have damage in the upper area of my spine, and even had to fight for the psychological issues. I have PTSD. And I have had to fight since I was attacked. Workers' comp is horrible. Okay. I think we're going to have to do some social policy we're gonna have to do something, because they're not for survivors at all. Like, if a man fell off of a scaffold and broke his back, that could be traumatic for him. It may not be. But for a doctor to refuse to see me, a doctor to refuse to give me pain medicine because I'm in pain, I've been in pain every day. There has not been a day where I have not been in pain. It could be at a 1, it could be at a 15. There's not a day for an entire year that I have not been in pain. So, the story is I've been a fighter this entire time, and it's been very hard. So the impact it has on my life. I'm going to read you the criteria from the DSM-5 on PTSD. Criterion A, 1 is required, the stressor. So the person was exposed to death, threatened death, actual or threatened serious injury, or actual or threatened sexual violence in the following ways: direct exposure, witnessing trauma, learning that a relative or a close friend was exposed to trauma, indirect exposure to adverse details of trauma, first responders, medic. Criterion B, intrusion symptoms, unwanted, upsetting memories. So you have to have 1, nightmares, flashbacks, emotional distress after exposure to traumatic reminders, physical reactivity after exposure to traumatic reminders. I have all of those. Avoidance of trauma-related stimuli after the trauma-related thoughts or feelings, trauma-related external reminders. I have both of those. Only 1 is required. Negative alterations in cognitions and mood, inability to recall key features of the trauma. And you need 2. Overly negative thoughts and assumptions about oneself or the world, exaggerated blame of self or others for causing the trauma, negative effect, decreased interest in activities, feeling isolated, difficulty experiencing positive affect. I had all of those. I would say now I'm down to 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7. Criterion E, alterations in arousal and reactivity. Trauma-related arousal and reactivity that began or worsened after the trauma in the following ways: irritability or aggression, risky or destructive behavior, hypervigilance, heightened startle reaction, difficulty concentrating, difficulty sleep. Out of the 6, I had 5, and now I'm down to maybe 4. The irritability and aggression I had to cut that out real fast. Duration, symptoms last for more than 1 month. Require, create distress and dysfunctional impairment, social occupational, haven't been to work. Exclusion, symptoms are not due to medication, substance, or all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So that is PTSD. The impact, and I say it lightly, right? Say it like, oh, that's PTSD, blah, No, PTSD is not fun at all. I have had insomnia since. So I have not slept without medication since the event. So yeah, the impact is it's there. I can't really just say in this video the impact. I can only say that in my vlogs, that's where I can share the impact, because it's so much that is too much. And that brings me to the healing. And for lack of better words, I am one bad bitch. Just want to say that. I don't like calling females the B word, but that is the only way I can describe myself now. I have had to fight. Wow, what movie is that? I've been fighting all my life. I have had to do things that I have never known I had to do. I have been advocating for my mental health. I have been putting people in uncomfortable situations. When I'm going to the doctors, listen, I don't trust the doctors because as a black woman, I have had these experiences in my life. Because as a black woman, I've been treated this way. And if a doctor is uncomfortable with me saying that I'm a black woman, you are not the doctor for me. And I am quick to ask for another doctor. I am quick to call and hold people accountable or whatever it is. I'm not afraid to ask questions. That whole bull crap about, this strong black woman, a strong black woman asks for help too. A strong black woman lets people know this is not for me. A strong black woman, this procedure is scaring the shit out of me. I don't want it. It's not about taking what's given to us and doing doing our best with it. No, I'm not taking that crap. I don't want that. I've had two injections in my spine. That was traumatic. I don't want that. They talking about surgery on my shoulder. Listen, I don't want that. Is there anything else that we can do? I've done physical therapy for 4 months. It didn't work. So now I probably have to get another surgery on my shoulder. Okay. But what y'all not going to do is tell me I need to see a neurosurgeon because I might have to get surgery on my spine. That's what you're not going to tell me. Like, you're not going to tell me all of these things. I'm doing research on myself. I'm looking up medications. Listen, how does this medication affect black women? What is it? Because I'm not doing that. I do still have moments where I have anxiety, I'm having triggers, but I'm dealing with it because, excuse me, I got kids. I got to make it work. I'm doing a trauma yoga class. I'm doing myofascial massage therapy for these puncture wounds because they're filled with underneath it is all this scar tissue. Like, I'm doing all of these things for myself because I've never done anything for myself before. School was for myself, but school was the motivator for my family. Like, everything is my family and my girls, and I gotta be this, I gotta do that. Like, this year, I've taken that time. I've actually I was forced to do things for myself, for Sade. I was selfish, and I'm being very selfish now. And that is the healing. The healing is I'm doing what I need to do for myself. And it's unconditional. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It is things that I need to do. And I'm just blessed and privileged to be able to do it. I'm home. I am not returning to work yet. I am not ready to return to work yet. I've had people say, well, why, Dad, you're not back to work yet? Or what's wrong? Or like, I'm jacked up a little bit. And I'm a social worker. I can't be jacked up going to try and help other people. I can't be social working people when I need social working myself. I'm healing myself. That's my goal, is to heal myself so that I can go and continue to be the helper that I want to be. Not necessarily, maybe not in people's homes anymore. That's a definite no. But that is also a part of the healing process, is where do I fit in now? And so I'm just so blessed to have a village. My mom is like, I don't know what I would be doing right now without my mom. My dad, Jamie, Niara, like, I'm naming names because I have never had to be vulnerable in my life. And the people that have been around to help me with this, I am so thankful for you. Like, God has blessed me with you. My mom, my dad, Jamie, Niara, my aunts and uncles, my cousins. Like, y'all have really been a tremendous help. Jamie and Niara, they were there. Boom. Came right away. And they've been there ever since. And we've been there for each other for like ever since. And I love you girls. Like, you're amazing. I could call y'all and be like venting and be like, girl, that's crazy, but you gotta get it together. Like, you know what, you right. You so right. So I love y'all. My mom, my dad, I love y'all. And Z, she been, man, this girl done did a whole 360 on me. Like, mom, you good? You need something? She's still a preteen where she could be a little selfish as preteens are. That's, it's their world. But my girl, she went from running away to me to, mom, you good? I'll make you some breakfast. Dina, sit down and make you breakfast too. You gonna eat it. And I love that. My little girl is like become more resilient. I think we've all become more resilient through this experience, and every day is still a battle. It gets easier every day. I'm still frustrated with myself to where it's like, I wish this was over. I wish I was, I could walk down the street or hear a noise and not be triggered, but I'm not there yet. And who knows when I'll be, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm using my tools. That's really all that I can do is use my tools, because I have to reprogram my body, reprogram my brain. And the only way that's going to happen is if I do the work that I need to do. And some days that's just recognizing that today was a shitty day, and because of X, Y, and Z. And sometimes that's all it takes, is like, oh, okay. So that's my story. I'm alive. I'm healing. And